Building a global business is all about ambition. The success of that ambition depends on your global network and how you manage it. At HSBC, we understand how frustrating it can be. Multiple accounts across the world, financing options based only on your local performance, capital and liquidity inefficiencies, and high barriers to entry in new markets. We can help. Our international subsidiary banking teams around the world harness the power of our network to help you succeed. We serve over 8,000 global corporations across more than 50 countries and can offer you dedicated teams structured to mirror the way you work across parent and subsidiary levels. Tailored solutions that provide greater cost efficiencies, better use of working capital, and help in reducing cross-border risks. A consistent service to enable you to grow at scale. A central technology platform that will help you track your finances in real time, and access to our global network of experts, empowering you with insights and connections. We are your banking partner now and for the future.
So first of all, I'm going to be introducing the company we have chosen. We have chosen HSBC Holdings PLC, which is a British multinational investment bank and services holding company. It was the sixth biggest bank on the planet by 2020 and the biggest in Europe, with complete resources of around 2.715 trillion US dollars as of August 2020. The Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank was established by Thomas Sutherland in the then British state of British Hong Kong on 3rd March 1865, and in Shanghai a month later, profiting by the beginning of exchanging into China, including opium trading. It was officially fused as the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation by an ordinance of the Legislative Council of Hong Kong on 14 August 1866. In 1980, HSBC gained a 51% shareholding in US-based Marine Midland Bank, which it stretched out to full proprietorship in 1987. So we're going to talk about HSBC's values, HSBC's mission, and HSBC's vision. HSBC's values characterize who they are as an association and what makes them distinctive. They put stock in acting with gallant honesty, and we could say that they are dependable, open to various thoughts and societies, and associated with clients, networks, controllers, and one another. Their vision and goal is to be one of the world's greatest specialist banking groups, driven by commitment to their core philosophies and values, through a worldwide network connected by cutting-edge innovation, including a quickly developing e-commerce ability. HSBC gives a far-reaching scope of monetary services, individual monetary services, business banking, corporate, venture banking and markets, private banking, as well as monetary administrations and exercises.
When analyzing an entity, it is also important to take into consideration its size. HSBC is one of the biggest banks in the world. It is present in over 64 countries across the planet due to its subsidiaries. It has more than 40 million clients all over the place, and it employs over 233,000 people full-time every year. In 2020, HSBC made a commitment to society and to their clients by investing $5.8 billion in technology and digital platforms that streamline operations and support growth. It is the firm's belief that during times of uncertainty like this pandemic, their clients should feel backed and should feel like things are easy. As of 2019, the entity has reported over $1.4 trillion in their balance from international banking, close to 17 billion of transactions revenue from trade payments and cash management, while preserving their strong capital, funding, and liquidity position. These advantages and many more allow the entity to preserve long-term benefits despite short-term movements in the markets, such as the current pandemic. In terms of their structure and their governance, HSBC is managed with a matrix structure. Essentially what this means is that the firm is run at a global business level and runs global support functions. Furthermore, it maintains a regional and country oversight model. HSBC uses a global subsidiary model and local incorporated subsidiaries to make sure that they comply with all the legal requirements in each country. As well, the structure is influenced by regulatory policies applied in the different nations in which they exist, which is why the company keeps very rigorous checks in order to make sure that they comply with those. In the image presented above, we can see the governance structure of HSBC. As shown above, the firm works in the following manner. There are general meetings of shareholders who are represented by the Board of Commissioners. The Board of Directors, composed by the executive directors such as the CFO or the CEO, also transmit the information to the assistant, who then translates it to the sales trader, the operations, finance, information technology, risk marketing, and KYC officer and the advisory.
Okay, so I will be talking about HSBC's functional areas, and after that I'll shortly discuss the Porter's 5 forces of HSBC. So let me start. So HSBC's functional areas consist of efficient and effective teams in order to operate on a day-to-day basis, and they also have roles to protect the company's reputation and ensure its safety. So HSBC has various functional areas as follows. First of all, they have the company secretary, which means that employees in charge of this functional area, they aim to direct, establish, develop, and oversee/manage the corporate governance. So they do stuff such as creating and maintaining lists of stock markets and managing meetings and equity increasings of stockholders. They do things like this, as a secretary would do. Then there is the global communications team, which serves to ensure that HSBC's communication strategies promote its strategic goals in accordance with its principles. And then there is the global finance team, which takes care of the financial situation that HSBC is in. HSBC also offers its analytical skills such as financial insight, accuracy, and control. So this is very useful and good in its use to make good business decisions. Then there is the global internal audit, which makes sure that the work of management, risk, and the audit committees is completed efficiently, meaning without bias and fully comprehensive, basically. Then there is the global legal, which makes sure to offer robust and detailed guidance on legal problems and risks that might occur. So this means that through this role, HSBC's image is maintained and its company is fully safeguarded. Then there is, of course, as almost every company would have, the global marketing group, which serves to aid global companies in boosting their sales. So they do things such as business analysis, customer research, governance in ads and marketing, and of course sponsorship. So they work a lot on ads and trying to make the product very attractive to consumers. And then there's the global risk team, which focuses on risk management, as the name tells. So it looks at the range of risks such as security, information security, credit, pension, insurance, market, and reputational issues. Then there is the financial crime risk team, which ensures that HSBC is safe and well and is fully protected. And then, of course, there's the global sustainability team, which works with the goal of building long-term client partnerships and generating sustainable profits for shareholders. So, for example, this team concentrates on handling problems concerned with the social and environmental impacts that might be present during events and that the bank might be financing. And it also looks at the environmental footprint that HSBC leaves behind. Then there's the global strategy and planning team, which has the role of ensuring HSBC's smooth and fluid operation. And finally, last but not least, is the human resources team, which exists simply for use by its employees. So this is really a team which offers supervising mechanisms such as rewards, learning, and development in order to make sure that the employees are fully able to perform at their best. Okay, so now I finished with that, so I will move on to the porter side forces of HSBC. So first of all, we have the bargaining power of buyers, which means, buyers and consumers, the same thing, have no say in price, so they cannot control prices. This is because HSBC has a large amount of suppliers, and obviously consumers want to pay at the lowest prices possible, and therefore HSBC makes sure to make profit at the lowest prices possible. Then bargaining power of suppliers. So overall bargaining power of suppliers is low. For instance, bank capital suppliers and tech equipment suppliers have low amounts of power. And then there are credit card supplies which benefit from a higher amount of power. Then there are threats of new entrants.
So now we're going to talk about the different issues and challenges or risks that this company can go through. So the first one is technology. Technology has changed completely our way of life, and its development has affected many many industries, such as the banking one. So in this case, we the people are used to making things by the traditional way, but now this has changed, and instead of making use of the banking traditional ways, we do the most of our activities. Another risk is the political situation and economic we go through in our world. So in our present, is very unclear and uncertain, so many crises can occur at any moment. We live in a constant state of what is it going to happen, or what is the next economic situation going to be. Therefore, companies should have a clear idea and approach of what they can do in order to prevent the next crisis. Okay, so another major risk in common that all banks have is lending money and making investments. In the majority of the cases, this is not necessarily a problem because people who ask for a loan or making investments are able to repay it back. However, this is not always happening. In order to tackle down all these risks, of course, HSBC, this company, has developed different processes and created different solutions which will tackle down their potential risks. So, for example, in order to tackle down the financial crime crisis, they have developed a precise and detailed procedure. Firstly, it is essential to get to know their customers. Ask them questions of if they like or not the service they're receiving, if they have any inconvenience, and therefore, with this type of procedures, they can avoid and monitor transactions in order to prevent and reduce this potential risk.